Okay, so the steering has a bit of a dead zone. So how does changing geometry change that? Are you changing like toe out, toe in or something? What are you changing to give more feel in that middle bit?
It's toe and camber at both axles. So
Right.
the car, I guess you understand camber, which is the amount the wheels lean in at the top.
Yeah.
So if you want the car to develop more grip, you put more camber on it. And road cars generally have, so go around the corner. If the wheel, because the car rolls, if you lean the tyre in, the tyre will be more upright to the road and it will give more grip.
Yeah.
So more camber equals more grip, but also more camber can equal more response because the tyre wants to develop grip straight away. So that's one aspect, is that the car has almost no camber on the front axle as standard. The wheels are almost upright. And it has less camber than all of its competitors, less camber than I would generally put on it myself. So step one was to give it more camber, just to kind of switch the tyres on faster. And the second step was the toe value. So it had lots and lots of toe out on the front axle and lots of toe in on the rear axle. On a racing car, you might well run toe out on the front axle because you want the inside wheel to kind of like turn the response on before the car then leans and all the load moves to the outside wheel. So toe out on a race car, you can run and it will give better turn in at high G. Toe in on the rear axle makes the car want to go straight. And if you have lots of toe in, you have to overcome that before the car wants to turn.
So you get a resistance, right? Okay.
Yeah. But equally, it means that the car might want to go straight. So I imagine there was like a little bit of a do loop where they've gone, well, it's got a lot of toe out on the front axle because we want that. But that makes the car a bit iffy in certain situations, so we'll counteract that by putting a lot of toe on the rear axle. I always think balance is a key word in the vehicle dynamics world, because if you get all of your behaviour from one thing, it's never in balance. Or if you've done something not so good on one part and you've tried to counteract that by doing something on another part, you'll always end up chasing yourself around and it won't quite work in certain situations. So the kind of like the cycling marginal gains terms of small amounts of improvement everywhere to get everything in balance, you'll get a better car. So first thing I did was take the toe out off the front axle, which fixed a lot of the wandering at high speed, because it means that the car's not searching ruts and everything at high speed, and then take the toe in off of the rear axle, and it makes the turn-in phase so much more natural at the same time. So that's where the geometry came from. If you take steering, you know when you get to a corner and you steer the wheel and what happens thereafter, the actual steering components, I don't know, contribute about 20% of that, and the rest is down to a balance of the front axle and rear axle. So you can spend you can spend a long time tuning rear axle geometry and stiffnesses and all those sorts of things, and all you're doing is improving the way the car steers into a corner, and that's where you get all those balances from.